Kids, how's everybody out there in YouTube land this evening? Wow. Today is, what, May 8th or something? Yeah, 5/8, 5/8/22. So, yeah, 5/8. May the 4th go with you has already come and gone. And Cinco de Mayo, all kinds of crazy stuff going on in America. Frankly, I'm a little concerned. So, anyhow, today I had a great day. Took the day off, decided to chillax and not worry about anything today. I'm not fretting out business. I'm not fretting real estate. Just decided to take today for myself, calm and relax and zen and enjoy the day. So, and I will admit, I just got done barbecuing, fired up the grill for my dinner. Did a grilled hamburger steak. And hey, Steve, how you doing? And some asparagus. And some brewskis. Absolutely beautiful day outside today. Plants are all doing well, so I spent some time outside with my plants, fertilizing them. They've had way too much water. They need to dry out. It's been raining and raining and raining here in Ohio. And so gave them a little liquid fertilizer. I was really not wanting to give liquid, but I don't know how else to feed them. So, hello Marie, how you doing? Hey Rich Will, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms watching. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Oh man. Yeah, to both of my ex-wives, if you watch, happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a pleasant day. Mom, up there, hope you had a pleasant day today. Grandmas, up there. Maybe they can hear me, maybe they can't. I don't know. You don't know either, so just go with the odds, you know. Try to cover all the bases. Anyhow, a lot of stuff's been going on this week. Has me really concerned about where we're at and where things are going right now. Why does my picture look so weird? Oh, it's the door. Okay. Sundays are a great day to relax. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And you know what? I've decided I'm just going to start doing that from now on. I'm going to take Sundays and I was going to make soap today. I almost didn't do this live stream. I really did. I almost didn't do this live stream, but I figured, what the heck? This really isn't work. This is just sort of hanging out with some friends. So, oh yes, we all need a day of rest, and the good Lord rested on Sunday. Remember, on the 7th day He rested. So, I guess we should take a lesson in that. Anyhow, a lot of stuff going on that has me concerned about where things are going. Starters, I am really, for the second time in my life, I'm concerned about a nuclear war. You know, last time I was concerned about a nuclear war was about 50 years ago, when we were taught to hide under our desks in our school classrooms, like being underneath a desk was going to make a damn bit of difference in a nuclear war. But, oh yeah, that little bit of steel and plywood up there, that was going to save us. How stupid. Why put children through that exercise? I do not know. Why put children through that exercise and make them fearful of something like that? I cannot fathom the level of ignorance that it took to tell children that their life's going to end at any minute. You got to hide underneath your desk because somebody over on the other side of the world, someone named a Russian, was going to kill you. How insane is that? And here we are 50 years later. And the U.S. has been assisting the Ukraine, a pretty much corrupt government, with defending themselves. I agree with defending themselves. I don't care if they're corrupt or not. I know a lot of people are out on that, but when you have women and children today, they bombed a school where the children were and people were hiding underneath the school. Yeah, Steve, this is very much Cold War again. It's not Cold War era. Today is Cold War era. Today, this exact moment, we're right back at it. You got a lunatic running Soviet Union, attacking Ukraine. We supplied Ukraine a whole bunch of materials. We recently sank their flagship in the sea there, the Black Sea, and so now Russia is declaring they're at war with NATO. Well, we're part of NATO. So officially, Russia has declared they're at war with us. Just how stupid is this going to be? Just how far are we going to let these idiots that we have running our country continue to take us down this rabbit hole? This is insane, people. This is absolutely insane. Watching a video this week about the bunch of kids from Germany. Their parents were Nazis, and they the movie was about how they survived after the fall of Germany, how they survived, and they sold and gave away pretty much everything they had just to feed themselves and take care of themselves. Their parents were Nazis. I don't know exactly at this point in the movie. Well, I'm watching it right now. I don't know at this point in the movie what happened to their parents. I assume they were killed. At least the fathers were, for participating in the war effort. And I think to myself, what would that be like here in America? All this entitled, liberal, woke nonsense going on. You know, there's a saying that soft times make soft people. Well, we have some really soft people right now. I mean, unbelievably soft people. And soft people bring on hard times, and hard times make strong people. Well, where we're at in our society today is we're very much in a society full of very soft people. People who need to have their safe space. People who fly off the handle if you don't call them by the correct pronouns. It's insane. I do want to address one thing. I think if we don't stand up for something, then we are nothing. I think we all have a responsibility to draw a line in the sand and take a stand on something, right, wrong, or indifferent. And I'm going to take a stand here on my channel. It's probably going to lose me a lot of subscribers, and that's okay with me. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. I don't think a woman, I get the whole argument about your life, your choice, whatever. I get that, okay? But we just came through this whole nonsense where everybody was getting these shots to protect themselves from the COVID. And now Johnson & Johnson has been found to create birth defects in women and blood clots in men, so it's being taken off the shelf because they rushed the drug to market before they did the adequate testing to it. That's only the first one. I imagine I would not be the least bit surprised that we have similar reactions to all of these shots that everybody got to protect themselves from COVID. I remain unjabbed. So soft governments empower countries like Russia. Yes, Steve, they do. And right now we have got an incredibly soft government. Incredibly. Any positive things to visit about instead of things we have no control over? Marie, I disagree. We have complete control over these things. That argument just falls flat with me. You have the right to vote. And you have the right to be heard. And you have freedom of speech. And if necessary, you have the right to bear arms. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed means everybody, every arm. We should be allowed to have when they passed that law, when that Second Amendment was enacted, at that time there were citizens that owned ships that had cannons, had the most sophisticated weaponry of the day. There's no reason why we aren't doing that again today. This nonsense that, oh, well, back then they were talking about muskets and not, M16s and Puff the Magic Dragon and all these other armaments that we have. You know what? Our rights to defend ourselves shall not be infringed, period. Every citizen in this country. The reason why Japan never attacked us in 1941 is because they knew every American was going to have a gun to defend themselves. Our government is sorely mistaken. Our society is sorely mistaken by taking that right away from us today. Just opening us up for an attack. Everybody in America should be allowed to have a firearm. And when it comes to rights, you know what? A girl, and I'm going to talk about abortion here. Not talking about the Second Amendment. Okay, I'm going to go back to that. Let's go talk back about abortion. I'm not talking about Putin either right now. I'm talking about abortion. Abortion, I believe, is killing, period. If there's so many options for people today to prevent getting pregnant. There's condoms, there's drugs you can take, there's the pill, there's three-year drugs. You can take one thing and it lasts for 3 years now. There's all kinds of things you can do. So everybody falls back, oh, what if you get raped? Okay, well, if you get raped, you go to the hospital, they give you a drug immediately that'll stop your chance of getting pregnant. Immediately, it can be dealt with. So the only cases that we're really dealing with here are young girls who are embarrassed about having been raped and don't go to the hospital because they don't want to have to deal with that. And now they're pregnant and they have this child by this rapist. Sad commentary. It's about a lack of adequate information on our part to educate people and to let them take care of what they need to be taken care of. But in those circumstances, then yeah, maybe there's some interest in having an abortion in those situations. But any way you look at it, abortion is killing. Period. I'm gonna read the chat here. I see Marie's going off on some bull. Nothing about Second Amendment. Talking about Putin. Putin is a bully for sure. Not talking about abortion. Yes, it's murder. Adoption, not abortion. Yeah, I agree. I have an older sister who got pregnant in high school, and she put her child up for adoption. And you know what? 30 years later, we reconnected with him, and he is now a father with his own children, and he's also part of our family again. So, yeah, adoption is a legit. Now they're saying that, well, but it's traumatic to have to, if you're raped. In a case of rape, where the girl didn't bother going to the hospital and getting the drugs to abort that baby, not abort the baby, but to stop the pregnancy. In those circumstances, it would be cruel and unusual punishment to make her carry that baby to term, since she's already been traumatized by the rape. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's probably true, but that doesn't outweigh the murder that there would be on that child. So whether that girl wanted that or not, she certainly didn't do anything to get herself raped, except the fact that she existed, and then have the baby and put it up for adoption. So make the best you can out of a bad situation. Anyhow, so I'm a little perturbed tonight on some of the things going on in our society. I do think we're going to be looking at abortion only leaves one murdered and one woman for life. Abortion only leaves one murdered and one wounded for life. Okay, I agree with that. So. So there's a couple of things that really bother me about what happened this past week, and this is gonna be a political rant a bit tonight. Somebody at the Supreme Court, Lily, quiet. Somebody at the Supreme Court released confidential information about this whole Roe v. Wade thing. And for whatever reason, the people in power, the Biden group people, are not pursuing that person. It's the first time in the history of America that the Supreme Court has had this sort of behavior happen at the Supreme Court. And they are not pursuing that. They're not going to try to find out who it was. They're not going to go out and correct it, which tells me that they initiated it or certainly condone it. Speaks volumes about the people we have in office right now. Why aren't these people being brought to justice? At this point, the Steele dossier, all the Russian collusion stuff. I do hear some good stuff on the horizon. I guess there's some lawsuits going against Adam Schiff, and maybe some criminal charges might be pending against Adam Schiff. What about Hillary? What about the rest of the DNC, Democratic National Committee, and Hillary's people that decided on, organized, paid for the Steele dossier that cost Trump the election? Why aren't they being prosecuted? I have zero confidence in our government, nor will I ever have confidence in our government again until such time as we start seeing some accountability. Marie says, let's talk about backyard chickens. They're everywhere. Well, and I'm getting to that, Marie. I'm kind of working my way around to that. So bear with me. I don't think people in America realize how fragile their lives are. I think so many people are so dependent on the food chain, which is clearly under attack. There was a whole bunch of new ones. Can I pull that up real quick? I don't know if I can. Pictures. Yeah, pictures. Hold on a minute. There were a whole bunch of new attacks this month. This month, there was a bunch of new attacks. Okay. You remember me just talking about this last week? Come on, where's the file? Ohio listings, pictures, editing, save pictures. Before that, where is it? Aha. Yep, there's a whole bunch of new places that were just announced this month that having been attacked. Here we go. Let me pull it up here. Okay. Can I make that larger? Apparently I can't. Okay. I found this one interesting. Beerbrook plant. Beerbrook plant. Food poisoning or food processing plant, Quebec, Canada. On March 23rd, March 28th. Maricopa Food Pantry in Maricopa, Arizona. Rio Fresh Ohio Packing Facility, San Juan, Texas. This is since March 23rd. This is March 23rd to today. Okay. Rio Fresh Onion Packing Facility in Texas. East Conway Beef and Pork Meat Processing, Conway, New Hampshire. Taylor Farms Food Processing, Salina, Kansas. Gem State Food Processing, Hayburn, Idaho. Azer Standard Food Processing, well, we knew that one in Duluth, Oregon. General Mills Food Processing in Covington, Georgia, and also General Mills Food Processing, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. One of those on the 21st and one of those on the 23rd of April. We're talking about like a week or so ago, right? 2 weeks ago. Penobscot McCrum Potato Processing in Belfast, Maine on April 30th. Purdue Farms Grain Processing, Chesapeake, Virginia, April 30th. A chicken farm in Ruston, Mississippi on May 1st. Saladino's Food Processing, Fresno, California on 5/1. So this continues. This attack on our food supply continues. Now, there's some conversation. This is what I'm saying. I was going to get back around to the chickens. There's some talk amongst, I don't want to say conspiracy theorists, because the reality is all these conspiracy theories that we've had apparently are all coming true. But they're thinking that this may be an attack by the Russians doing this, or maybe a Russian here in America that's causing all this to happen. There could be, some other group here, nefarious group that's attacking our food supply. The Chinese, it could be. The fact is, our food supply is being attacked. And once again, having chickens and having, poultry in a little farm, that's where the value is, people. That's where the wealth is. It's not in having, shares of AT&T or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's not in having stocks. It's not even having cash in the bank. Okay? It's not. It's having some land suitable for you to grow your own food and your own critters. That's the true wealth. Because when the shit hits the fan, and I do believe at some point that's going to happen here in America. I don't know if it's going to happen quickly, but at some point here in our near future here in America. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, alarmist, or whatever else, but right now Russia has announced that they're at war with NATO. That means us. We're part of NATO. So Russia has declared war against America. That's a fact. It's not a theory, it's not conjecture, that's a fact. We could go nuclear at any second. Putin is such a lunatic right now. It's exhausting, man. I can't believe this. Chinese, Russians, Muslims, yeah, Steve. We've got a whole lot of enemies in the world. So who do you think is behind this? The Russians, the Chinese, the Muslims. Very challenging times, and not just in the USA. Very true. Pretty simple to explain. The line corrupt Biden administration is in charge. Let's talk about backyard. Yeah, so what do we do about it? We have 2.5 more years of the Biden administration. 2.5. We're at a point now in America where we are. Where are we at? Oh no, I don't have my thing brought up here. Hold on. 2022. There you go. I have a schedule and calendar on here. Yeah, well, the midterms are, 90 days? 200 days. 200 days to the midterms. Then we got 2 more years after that. So as of this coming Thursday, as of today, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are 204 days away from the midterms. And then we're another 2 years after that, where the Biden administration is going to continue. I mean, look how much damage they've done to our country in less than 2 years. Look how much damage they have done in less than 2 years. Now, I do believe we're going to see a red wave in 200 days, and that will take the wind out of their sails. We'll be able to control the Senate and the Congress, which will be able to eliminate. And I'll tell you what, we take over the Senate and the Congress and we don't start seeing some accountability and some heads rolling, then I think our entire government is defunct. We need to get a hold of the Congress and the Senate and start holding people accountable. People like Schiff, people like Clinton, people like Nancy Pelosi, these people have got to be held accountable for what they've been doing. And I just don't see it happening right now. So again, I'll reiterate the title of this this video: chickens are wealth. I am so mad at myself for having sold my place in Alaska. I am so mad at myself. Why? Because I had chickens, ducks, turkeys, geese, I had pigs, had a quiet spot out in the middle of the woods away from everybody. I wish I was back there today. I really do. Even dealing with the cold, I got trees I can cut firewood. I think people need to start thinking about a simpler time. I think people need to start thinking about not investing in gold and silver and the stock market, and you need to find yourself a little piece of land where you can raise some poultry and some pigs and hope maybe a cow. Although I think we're going to see here that people with cows are really wealthy, you know, so it's going to be keeping it simple. So Steve says, I don't think Biden will make the end of his term. From what I see, he is no longer with us. He's senile and confused. Yeah. Hey, Urban Homesteading, how you doing? Tomorrow is my birthday. Not all the political mood tonight. Take care, everyone. Hey, Marie, happy birthday, darling. Happy birthday. Happy 35th, Marie. Happy 35th. Yeah, I don't like having a political live stream. I really don't. But I'll tell you guys, how are your plants looking so far? Can we get an update? The plants are doing pretty good. We've been deluged here. It's been raining and raining and raining and raining. So a lot of my plants have been just swamped in water. I spent the good part of today draining out buckets, drilling holes in buckets for drainage. But a lot of what I have started out in buckets outside is gotten yellow looking because it's just had so much rain. I mean, buckets were literally full of water. The seeds that I started in seed trays and stuff were just swamped, just flooded. So, and that's the problem I'm having because I'm homesteading here on a little apartment and have all my plants growing in buckets on the back deck instead of in the dirt. If I had them in the ground, they would not be so flooded. So I'm doing pumpkin for my first time this year. Pumpkin's great. Pumpkin is great. Make yourself some pumpkin pie, roast them in the oven for squash. I don't like I don't like the really big pumpkins, you know, the ornamentals and jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that. I like the little, you know, New England pie pumpkins. Those are the ones that I think are the best. You can roast them and then pull the flesh out and use them for making pies, or you can just roast them like you would an acorn squash and eat it that way. They're very good. Pumpkin has a lot of different things you can do with that, so I like that. It's hard not to get political these days. Yeah, it really is, Steve. You know, I do try to avoid that in my live streams, but I'm just so angry right now. I really am. I'm just so angry and disappointed in our country right now. It's unbelievable. And you know, I try to, you know, put a blinder on and you know, let's talk about something pleasant, but the reality of it is, and we people have been doing that too long. We've been doing too much of that. Yes, yeah, drill holes in the buckets to allow them to drain. What I do, I used to, when I was young and stupid, I used to drill holes right in the bottom of the bucket so it would drain right out the bottom. I don't do that anymore. Now when I do a bucket, I go up about 2 or 3 inches up the side of the bucket and then drill holes. That way I am still containing a couple inches of water in the very bottom of the bucket. Even if it, so what that does is then that water that doesn't just ooze out through the holes, it's contained in that bottom couple of inches, then the soil will wick that back up to feed the plants, and the roots will, want to grow down towards that to have that moisture. So it encourages root growth, and it provides a bit more protection for the plants in that they have more moisture available for a longer period of time. It's not feast and famine so much. So if you're going to drill holes in a bucket, just realize go about 3 inches up on the side of the bucket, and that's where you drill your holes. That way your dirt will contain water in that bottom 3 inches or so. And it'll allow you not to have to be so careful on watering on a regular basis. And I've come to the conclusion now that you can grow most of your vegetables in a bucket. You can grow carrots in a bucket. Buckets are like 16, 18 inches, 20 inches deep. You can grow nice carrots in a bucket. You can grow potatoes in a bucket. You can grow onions in a bucket. You can grow everything in a bucket. So I'm learning more and more and more about bucket gardening by necessity because I may be moving yet here this fall, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I used to grow sunflowers for 4 years. Oh, cool. Carl, I don't intend this to sound sarcastic, but if something bad happened where people are starving, they aren't going to be driving by the farm and looking at the animals. No, I agree, Don. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Chickens are wealth. They're gonna be coming to your farm to take your food because they're starving to death, and so yeah, you're gonna have to defend your farm. In a and again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a shit hits the fan kind of guy. I'm not a prepper. I'm not a prepper at all. But I do think having an adequate homestead is the ultimate prepping. I see so many of these homesteads, making the mistakes of, we're going to raise meat chickens. They go out and they buy 50 or 100 chickens. They fatten them all up. They butcher them all on one day and stick them all in a freezer. I mean, that's just foolish. That's so foolish. Have a good, healthy flock of chickens walking around on your property, and when you want a chicken dinner, process a chicken. Don't put 50 of them. What happens when power goes out? What happens when the grid goes down? I'm not talking about power outage where they have it back up in 8 or 12 hours. I'm talking about what about the grid goes down? And you're not going to have power for 4 months, 6 months. Now, all that chicken meat you got in your freezer is all going bad, it's rotting, and it's of no value anymore. Can't do that. Can't do that. So yeah, Don, I agree. I agree completely. We've got to do something a little different with that. But, looking at some of the news things that happened this week, really disappointed in the fact that nobody is pursuing the people at the Supreme Court offices to catch whoever released that information. As far as Roe v. Wade is concerned, I'm pro-life, but you know what? This whole Roe v. Wade, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. People, it doesn't. All they're saying is it's not a federal law. It should be a state law. That's what they're saying. If you boil it all down to that, it's like let the individual states decide for themselves. They're best attuned to the wants and needs of their particular population. Let the state decide what they're going to do in regards to Roe v. Wade. If California and New York want to have abortions, then so be it. I would never live in one of those states again in my life. So, but, there are going to be states that are going to pass laws immediately to preclude it. I think you're killing somebody when you have an abortion. There's too many other options available besides killing the baby. I don't think it's a woman's rights issue. Because the woman had the right to not have sex with the guy. The woman had the right to use prophylactics. The woman had the right to use birth control. The woman, if she got raped, the woman has the right to go to the hospital and get treatment that would immediately negate any chance of her getting pregnant. There were lots of options along the way. It's like driving down the highway. There's lots of places you could have turned off and taken care of this. But you didn't. You waited until the final moment. And now all of a sudden you're going to kill a baby because you're irresponsible. Just my honest opinion. And I'll tell you what, this week I got cussed out for that this week. I stand by my guns. Maybe you can't answer this, but have you ever grown the Mary Jane in buckets? No. Nope, never grown pot. No, I thought about it up in Alaska where it's legal, but no, I've never. I gotta be careful. I've never intentionally grown any. Who cares? I mean, really, who cares? You want to grow pot, grow pot. You want to grow tobacco, grow tobacco. Personally, I don't think it's a smart thing to do, but you do you. And I think that's the best thing that we as conservatives and responsible adults can say is, you do you. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not against the lesbians or the gay or the plus, minus, whatever their acronym is now. Hi, sweetie. I have no problem with people doing whatever they want. I've known and been friends with a lot of people who were, lesbian or homosexual over the years. I don't care. You do you. You be the best version of you that you want to be. I'm going to be the best version of me that I can be. But don't expect me to have to change my lifestyle to adapt to yours. And don't expect me to pay for your choices. Other than that, we get along just fine. I have no problem. But, that's the conservative approach. The liberal approach is if you don't agree with their pronouns and their decision making, they're gonna try to kill you. They're gonna try to get you kicked off YouTube or multimedia. They're gonna call your boss and get you fired from your job. They're gonna attack your children in school. They're gonna do everything they can to make your life miserable, just because you happen to have a disagreement in your behaviors with them. And that is the point where the liberals lose. The liberal woke people, that's where they lose the argument at that point. They can no longer be rational. So, and being rational is kind of where it's at. So, hi, little, yeah, my little dog. Come here. They're saying hello to you. Steve said hello to you. Damn, let me see if he tilt this down so you can see her. There she is. There's my girl. There's my girl. Yes. You enjoy dinner tonight, huh? You enjoy dinner tonight? Now she's watching herself on my TV. Now she's looking at me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, get down. Come on, get down. Get down. Today I ran the charcoal grill. Oh, look at that. I'm like cockeyed. Woo! Let's get straightened out there. There we go. I fired up the charcoal grill this evening. And I did some hamburger on the grill and some asparagus on the grill. And the dog just loves when I charcoal grill. I don't know why, but she really gets a kick out of me cooking on a charcoal grill. Not really anything for her. I guess I should have done something for her. And I am mad at myself. I should have done an onion on the grill tonight, and I didn't remember to do that. Have you ever cooked an onion? Taken a yellow onion, take a small yellow onion, put it right on the grill. Just blacken the outside of it and get it good and juicy inside. Really brings up the sweetness. It doesn't have that pungent onion amount to it anymore. Very good that way. Very good. Just char the hell out of it. I mean, you can almost take it and remove the grate and stick it down in the coals and just char the hell out of it, and then you peel off the burnt leaves till you get to the stuff inside. Very good. Very good. So, oh crap. So anyhow, that's kind of like where I've been at this week. I've been upset about this whole Roe v. Wade thing because everybody's wanting to kill everybody over it, and it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. If the feds don't want it to be protected in the federal courts, then the states can decide for themselves, and that's as it should be. As it should be. We need smaller government. We don't need Big Brother dictating to us how our lives have to be. Let your state decide whether or not they want to allow abortions or not. Period. And then you know what? If you agree or disagree, you can move. Imagine that. Sell your home. Hey, that's good for me as a realtor. Sell your home and move to some place that agrees with your ideology. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that in America. But don't just stay where you are and dictate to everybody else how they have to live their lives and they have to agree by your nonsense and use your pronouns. It's just not going to happen. So, the smell of the meat and the coals drives a dog. Yeah, it does. It really does. Charcoal way better than gas. It really is. Yeah, it really is. I've been all winter long. I've been frying hamburgers in a frying pan, cooking a hamburger out on the grill and getting a little crunchiness on the outside. Man, I put a couple pieces of Kraft Singles on top, so I had a nice cheesy burger out of it, a little ketchup on top. It was really good. And you're right. The smell of the charcoal heating up the grill is what was driving her nuts today. Because I've used that grill to cook so many other things in the past, and I'm sure she's picking up the ghosts of those things that have passed on that grill and smelling them. So I find that kind of funny. Looks like I got a whole bunch of emails. What do I got here in the email? Leaf filter offer. Ooh, I got an offer from Leaf Filter. I don't have any place to put a leaf filter, so that's not going to do me. Actually, lead revisits after 14 days. Okay. Weird stuff there. Nothing of any significance. Nothing going on Facebook. And not a disaster. Good to see you again. Sailor Susan. Hey, Sailor Susan, how are you? Good to see you too. Good to see you too. So, anyhow, that's kind of where I was at today. I'm just sort of disappointed with what happened with that. I am very, very. We meet at Boot Harbor. Sailor Susan. We met at Boot Harbor. Okay. Sailor Susan. I met a lot of people at Bookie Harbor, Susan. A lot of people. So, pardon me if I don't remember which one specifically you were. But I met a ton of people while I was living at Bookie Harbor. But I'm glad you're here. You're welcome. Yeah, homemade burgers. No, but I'm really concerned. I really am. You know, I heard on the news yesterday Putin talking about he's declared war on NATO. So, you know, he could hit a button at any time. He could launch a nuke at the United States at any moment. As we're sitting here talking right now, there could be a nuke on the way to your house. So, let's say we weren't sober, tons of fun there, miss you. Okay, Sailor Susan. It doesn't surprise me that we weren't sober. I was not sober a lot of the time that we were there, but yeah. Were you one of the domino players? Did you enjoy Sailor Susan playing dominoes? Because I missed that. I really missed that about Bookie Harbor, playing dominoes and drinking a little wine and a little beer while we were doing it. That was just good times. So, anyhow, kids, so that's really all I got for tonight. I don't have much. I deleted my Facebook as it is liberal owned and run. Won't support any liberal platform. I agree. I agree. But, you know, here's the thing, though, is that we have, you know, Elon taking over Twitter. Of course, that's just like a huge disaster. All the liberals are losing their mind over that. You know what? When you tell me that you're losing your mind over the fact that somebody wants free speech, I don't want that person in my life. So those liberals can be out of my life, as far as I'm concerned. That's ludicrous. Oh yeah, we played a lot, but mainly I remember the fun times there. What happened to your little boat? I sold it. The Lily 2, I sold the Lily 2. And the guy bought it and took it down to Key West, as I understand. After that, I don't know what happened to her. So, unfortunately, but yeah, Steve, I kind of agree. I have not deleted my Facebook because I use it commercially for my business, so I don't. I haven't deleted that because I am profiting from it. Well, hopefully profiting from it. I haven't profited from it yet, but that's the idea anyway. So we'll see. We'll see. So. All right, guys. Well, look, I really don't have much else to talk about. I mean, that's just about it. I'm very concerned about us being in a nuclear war with Russia. Whether or not we declare it or not, he has. So, and Google it. If you don't believe me, you know, get on there and Google Putin declares war on NATO. We're part of NATO, so very concerned about what's going to happen with that. So, I don't know. If we're all still here next week, I will be doing a live stream next week, and we'll see you guys then. But if not, it is what it is. Other than that, be good, be careful, take good care of one another. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.